You're speaking in the vernacular, Shakespeare in the vernacular, you're going to experience it in a completely different way, and it will be a kind of family story. In traditional societies, it has special power because very frequently it is compartmentalized into backstage and on stage, and when you take them and you begin to collapse these different compartments on stage, men don't talk that way to their or women don't talk that way to their husbands. Well, Doll's House, if you do it in Arabic, you're going to get a completely different response than if it's done in English. You can talk that way in English because it's a play, there's distancing. As soon as you put it in Lebanese vernacular, you're going to get something else. You cannot, just take another vessel that's been used. You have to create it new. Heiner Kippart and Peter Weiss wanted to force the German public to look at what had happened during the Second World War, and it became a mechanism through their documentary-style plays on the Frankfurt war crime trials, for example, or Robert Oppenheimer or whatever. So these techniques have been used in different forms. There is a long tradition of this theater. If you recontextualize something, you put it in a completely different context, you'll see it differently. And the example I would give is of May, who is, as she said, played the mother of the bridegroom. When she comes out of the wedding hall, which is actually in a village, and it's reality made manifest, and the lovers have run off, and she goes, "Go get them!" And everyone does. It was the first time I've read the play, 6 times in Spanish and twice in English. I went, since it's about a moment before the Lebanese Civil War, I went, why doesn't she just turn to, her son and go, "Let's go home"? She ran off. Why do you have to go kill these lovers? And that how much of what engendered the Lebanese Civil War and these sort of conflicts have to do with this idea, well, you simply internalize this idea, we have to go get them and hunt them down and kill them, and out of that comes something else.
All theater from before until now, I'm exploring a different perspective of another human being, if it's based on a true story or if it's from someone's imagination. Anyway, it has to exist at some point. So for me, it's kind of tapping into much more emotion.
I'm very biased to the Palestinian side of the story. Having lived in Lebanon, been attacked by Israel on several occasions, all through my childhood, I've witnessed these lives, but I've also had, very, very close to the stories of the Palestinian. But then, to be true to my art as a theater maker, I had to be very compassionate to all the characters in the play, and to really lead the actor and coach them to play these characters from the perspective of the characters. So he's a Shin Bet officer, he's doing his job, at least from his perspective. So that was really, really very traumatizing, to say the least, the process itself.
In theater, it happens. This is what really confuses people. We're living in a moment with screens. We're living in a moment in which representation is once removed. In theater, it's not. If somebody spits on somebody, they spat on them. So it is activist. There's no way for it not to be activist. The extent is, Brecht's sort of notion that it spills off stage, and the extent that you think that might happen, that you are constructing it specifically for that purpose, piscator, that's another sort of question, but it is revolutionary because it happened. They were there, you experienced it, you didn't see it, or it wasn't shown to you, you lived it.
I think what it starts with, and you can probably speak to this as well, Summer, is a burning question. How do these things happen? I think that artists go into a project with more of a question mark than anything else. And then the job is, as Robert is saying, is to really put yourself in the shoes of the other. And if you can do that, it is a revolutionary act. All art is political. There is no such thing as doing a play without some kind of political statement or you know, that it's all about that. But the revolutionary act is really, you know, I'm going to play a murderer, as you know, as people have mentioned here. I'm going to play a rapist. I'm going to play somebody who hates homosexuals and is not bothered by you know, the murder of Matthew Shepard.
One night I was standing at the door of the theater and an audience member exiting and talking to another audience member. He didn't know I was the director. He said, "Yalla, next week we'll see a Zionist play in Beirut." So you've got some people who saw that, oh, we're taking sides here maybe, or not taking sides, which is worse.
What I enjoyed so much about the theater initiative is that it is the academic base of it is vital. You know, you're doing quality theater, well researched before starting a project. It's so well researched with the support of students, and of course, when you have students involved, there is it kind of gives you it makes you hopeful about the theater, that it's going to continue. It's not ending, you know. Because there is the next generation that's going to take on after you.